Hello friends, welcome back to my studio. I hope you're well. I should say welcome back to me. I have been away, obviously. I apologise. Thanks for waiting for me. I ended up with not one but two viruses at the same time and I was not well at all. I am finally feeling much better than what I was. So I'm really excited to bring you a art haul vlog today of supplies that I had been saving up to show you all in one go, and also some purchases while I was very poorly and feeling very sorry for myself. I did order some more art supplies online. So I've got all of that to show you today, and some of which I've been waiting for a very long time, and I finally shouted myself those. So let's turn the camera around and I'll show you what I've got here today. Here are all my goodies. I might separate it into like for like first so we can go through things. Yes, I did splurge. Okay, let's start with probably the most odd one you will see me buy. I ended up getting this oil pastel. It is, the colour is rose ochre, and any of you that have watched my vlog about oil sticks versus oil pastels, and I spoke about how I don't like oil pastels. I don't like how they kind of, the sticky tacky noise they make on the paper, but I thought I would try one because I absolutely adore this colour. So let's just swatch, do a little swatch of it. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't like that noise. But this paper here is just a watercolour paper, hot, cold press, so it's quite rough. So that's why it's giving that kind of texture. But that's the colour of that. And while we're doing oils, we'll stay with them. So, oil paints. These, and what I haven't realised, and I'm just looking now, I've managed to double up on two of those. I've obviously forgotten that I'd bought them in a pack, and yeah, now I've got two each of those, which is a bit disappointing because these aren't cheap and I could have got other colours. But anyway, there's my sick brain and my ADHD brain not working properly. So, and I'm also a little bit out of practice with all of this. So let's do the first one, a titanium grey. I've been getting into grey. Oh, that needs a little bit of mixing. That's all a bit yucky. There's the grey. While I've been sitting and not being able to do much, I have been playing with the colour mixing chart on the Golden website, which I've talked about before, and I will talk more about it. But a lot of the colours that I was wanting to mix up had a warm grey in them, so that's why I decided to get a grey. I got one both in the acrylic and one in the oil. I'll show you that one later. The other colours, and I think these are going to need to be... This one is Australian Leaf Green Dark. These Artist Spectrum paints are really lovely. I've got some that are centuries old and they're still really, really good. So they're really good quality, and that's got a bit of transparency to that colour, if you can see that, particularly compared to the opaque one there. So that's that one. The next one, we all know phthalo green. I've been playing with that a lot in the acrylics. It also is, so phthalo green, it also is a bit of a transparent colour. You can see there. Very, very strong tinting strength, so you don't need much. Even though it's transparent, you can see how strong the colour is. Jaune Brilliant, which is a lovely soft orangey yellow. Beautiful colour. And then I love Naples Yellow. I haven't ever tried this Naples Yellow Reddish, and I was interested to see how it looks against the Jaune Brilliant. It's going to be more peachy by the look of the label, more orange compared to the Jaune Brilliant. I'll just get a Naples Yellow. So just to compare, this is a Naples Yellow, different brand. They will vary a little bit across brands, but just so you can see what a traditional Naples Yellow looks like, is that one there. So yes, the reddish pulls it into the orange, and more of a red orange than this pale peachy orange. So really nice to have all together. You will know how much I love lilac as a colour, so I had to get some. It'll go really lovely with these yellow tones. Quite an opaque colour, but still very, very soft. And you can see it playing off these colours because they're the complement. A Pilbara Red. I have got a Venetian Red. And again, I was interested to see, Pilbara, of course, is a region in Australia in the outback. So lovely Australian colour. And seeing as I'm doing landscapes, I thought it would be nice to have. So Pilbara Red. Oh, it's lovely. A little bit of transparency there by the look of it. And oh, just to compare, this is the Venetian Red. So it's going to be more ochre brown because it's an earth pigment, and it's opaque compared to the Pilbara Red. That's a really beautiful, beautiful deep colour. Thrilled with that. And I thought it would go really lovely with these dusty pinks. So they should be a muted type of pink. And I hope I like the dusty pink deep because I bought 2 tubes of it by accident. Beautiful. And then the deep. So I think this just has more, I have to read the label. So this is white, yellow and red, and this is just white and red, so it doesn't have the yellow pigment in it, which is making it more pink. So yeah, you can see there the two, that this is, hopefully you can see this has got a little bit more yellow in it, and they go really lovely with this new Pilbar red. These actually have the Venetian red in them as their red pigment, and they're quite similar to the flesh tone. If I just get the flesh tint out again to compare, because colours always look similar until you get them side by side. And there's the flesh tint, which is, yeah, 42. Yeah, they actually have the exact same pigments in them. And you can see this is just slightly darker than that one. That's interesting. They're both Artist Spectrum. This is a very old tube of mine. So very interesting. They're both a series 1. I do actually like this dusty pink over the flesh tint. It's a little bit dark. So yeah, happy I've got that. Really love this one. So that's all the oil colours. And so the next thing I'd like to show you, staying with oil, are these oil pigment sticks or oil sticks. And they are exactly what is in a tube of oil paint, but they also have wax added to them so they can be in a stick form. And I've used the Selina before. You can see in this tub that I've already got quite a few of the Selina colours, and these are the ones I've made myself. I'm sure you will have seen my vlog on how to make your own oil sticks, but I will link it here if you're interested, if you haven't yet seen that. So these are some newies. So we'll go with this. You know, you can see that I'm absolutely obsessed with this pinky colour at the moment. I'll just try and open it a little bit. So if you haven't heard me speak about oil sticks before, or you're not familiar with them, they do grow a film over them that you can see there. And it's just a matter of peeling that film back to get to the fresh paint. Let's put it here near this colour and up here near this oil. So you can see there, much creamier. It's managed to fill in those bumps in the paper compared to the oil stick. These are very creamy, but the oil stick again trumps that for creaminess. Beautiful colour. So that one, sorry, is Ochre Rose Light. So that was a rose ochre as well. So very similar. This one is a little more white, a little paler. So now to these R&F. Oh, and another note, don't put these back into the tubes they come in. You'll find that the paint will stick to the sides and you'll have real difficulty in getting it back out. So it's a matter of just letting that skin dry over, having a container that you can keep them in, but not in these things that they sell them in. So staying with the pink, this is how the R&F sticks come. I've never tried the R&F. This is a Scarlet Extra Pale. These do come in a set of extra pale colours that they have. I'm not sure. Yeah, that looks like it needs to be peeled back. Yes, it can feel quite wasteful taking those things off, but you really, they're dry, they're chalky. I don't know that you'd get any use out of them. It's just the nature of the oil stick. If you use them often enough, not giving them a chance to form that skin too much, you'll have less wastage. So here is this, we'll put it again near these pinks. It's a little bit scratchy, it's a little bit dry. These are meant to be creamier than the Selina, but it has filled those bumps. It's a lovely, lovely soft pink colour. And again, in that range that they have, I think it's a chromatic set, is the cerulean grey. They have a pale blue, a pale yellow. I only got the grey, blue and pink. Yeah, they've, as I'm unwrapping that, it's very chalky feeling. Let's see if we can, that's kind of crumbled away, so I'm getting, there we go, that's running now. So I haven't had to take, that's flaked off, haven't had to take as much off that. That is a lovely, lovely soft grey, beautiful. Bit of blue, which of course is the cerulean is a blue, so it's a blue grey, lovely. And as comparison, I accidentally, they do come in these two sizes, and I've accidentally bought a mammoth one in the Celadon green. But hey, I love this colour. Very similar to the Titan Green Pale. It's very chalky. See if we can just get... Well, they certainly are peeling much easier than I find the Selina to peel. So again, Celadon Green. Lovely pale green. It's looking a little more grey on the camera than what it is in real life. It'd be interesting to put some Titan Green Pale next to that in the golden range. And again, even though they're a round tube, don't put your oil sticks back in the tube. They will get stuck. And then this last one that is part of that range is the Ultramarine Pale Blue, and you can see it's a lovely grey pale. Just try and take the very edge from there. Beautiful. Looks a little darker than it does in the stick, but it's a lovely soft, you know, when you think about ultramarine blue, that's such a vibrant deep blue, that's a really lovely soft colour there. So I'm really happy with those purchases. I will be very happy to use all of those. Let's get rid of this. Sit that to the side, because I want to now show you what I bought in the acrylics. And as I said, the grey, and I might, just so you can see, this is it's called Toning Grey Mid. I don't often use the Atelier brand This is an interactive acrylic, which means you can unlock it, you can re-wet it to a certain degree. So they're really, really good for using with gel plates if you want your acrylic paint to stay wet for longer. I was going to separate the acrylics, but just so you can see the grey together. So there's that grey there. You can see it's a cooler grey. You can now see perhaps how warm that titanium grey is. And this is really lovely because I've been playing, as I said, playing around with the grey. And in a recent piece that I did yesterday, this grey here is this grey in here. And what I love is, against these colours, how blue it looks. So it can look quite cool next to a warm, but when I've got it near these cool colours, it's looking warmer. And I guess that's what can be so hard about colour theory, is it's all very well to swatch things up and okay, that's the colour, and familiarise yourself with whether it's opaque and transparent and warm and cool and the pigments that are in it. But then as you sit it next to other colours, it can take on a whole new persona. So I just really loved these patches of grey and how they looked blue. They're a lovely neutral to have in a piece. So yeah, that's why I picked up another tube of it. So back to our acrylics. I have wanted this colour for so long. We're staying in that rose colour. It's a light pink rose, sometimes called a ballet slipper, and it's lovely and soft. I also have not used any Liquitex Professional brand, so I'm very keen to see how that behaves as well in comparison. I know a lot of people use it and love it. As opposed to Liquitex Basics, they're a student grade, but the Liquitex Professional, oh, so nice. Yeah, love it. So it's stronger than I've got in these pinks in the oils, hinting towards more of a peachy pink. It's got a bit more yellow in it. And you can see here the PO36 is orange. I think it's actually vermilion. This, see here, the OPO, so pigment orange 36. And that's what this has in it, pigment orange 36 with some white and some red. And you can see that there. So this would be lovely with some of this mixed in with that to darken it, or some red to darken it and then white to lighten it. So that's, I'm really thrilled that I've got that, really love that. So the other things I've been really dying to own, because I'm going through the little tubes so quickly, and it'll be no surprise to you, this range of the Titan Pale. Oh, and I've managed to buy 2 tubs of the same thing. Well, luckily, I absolutely love this colour. Oh, gosh. I really need to start making notes of this thing. So Titan Mars Pale, Titan Violet Pale, and the Titan Green Pale. And the light orange, as I've said, I group in with these because it's such a lovely light colour. Pretty transparent, as you can see. I'll swatch them up. You've seen me use them before, but let's just do a little bit of swatching. And I've put my apron on because I'm getting it all over me and I haven't got studio clothes on today. These little paint brushes I just added to the order to make up for a free postage. They are that writing is so tiny I can't read it, but maybe the camera is picking it up. They're just a tiny little flat brush. So let's just use that to get this out. So to compare it with these oil pinks, I'll put a bit in here. Similar, paler, more white in it than those other pinks. So that's the Titan Mars Pale. I'll put that on there. This is what I do to my tubs, so because it's harder to see when they're all stacked up what it is. So now I can easily see that that's the Titan Mars Pale. Titan Violet. Pale. You'll see, oops, nearly dropped it. A gorgeous pale lilac colour. Now, compared to that lilac that looked pale in the tube, you can see it's much softer pastel sort of colour. I love it. It also helps run out the brush. I'll probably write on the lid as well. And the Titan Green Pale. Oh, so I haven't got as much to show you as I thought because I've doubled up on a lot. But anyway, this is a divine colour. And as you know, I've showed you in a previous vlog where I had all these colours and I used the pigments that are in them to extend this palette. I will link that above as well, where I've extended the palette, the colours, by playing around with the pigments that are in there. And just for a comparison to that Celadon green that I said would be similar to the Titan Green Pale. There it is there. And this is more blue and this has got more white. So it's interesting how you can have where you look at colours and you go, oh yeah, they're pretty close, but then when you swatch them up you get to see the actual proper properties of that. And then to finish up, the light orange, it's got a little bit of that green in there, but and let's put it next to, not that you would only ever use the oils over the top of your acrylics, but just so we can see the colour there. That's how it compares to the oil colours that I bought. So again, really lovely. And the very last thing I bought is this pigment powder in the Terra Verte. It is a earth colour. It's very hard to get a true green earth in a tube of paint. So I decided to get the powder. And if I can just get a little bit, see if this will blend with this. No, we need a little bit more. It's a very soft colour. It's, as I said, an earth colour. It's from literally green rock. And it's, because it's so delicate, it's often not used or created to be a pigment in a tube. But I thought, I just love the colour so much. You can get it in a watercolour. See if we can make it a little bit darker. You can get it in a watercolour, which is where I fell in love with it. So yes, very, very soft, subtle colour. So I will be able to mix that with either acrylic binder or oil binder to use that. It's the same as this. I do have this titanium white in a dry ground pigment, and I won't swatch it because it's white, but it's very much the same. The particles are maybe slightly smaller in that one than the green earth ones. And what I thought might be really interesting use of this is, again, in a previous vlog where I showed using Jackie Bernardi's technique of the powdered graphite on a gel plate. I'm really interested to see what this might do in the powdered form on a gel plate. And then the very, very last thing I bought was a mixed media paper. I have this in the A2, sorry, the really big sheets of paper that I use to paint on. I've found it really, really great paper. It's 250 GSM. Don't know what that is. Product code. So it's quite thick. It handles, as it says, mixed media paper. So it handles everything that I have thrown at it so far. I haven't tried oils on it, but certainly it'll take quite wet acrylic. So yeah, I decided to get a smaller pad rather than cutting down, because of course you pay so much for the big paper, and you can cut it down, but it doesn't really seem cost effective. I thought it would be better to have, so this is an A4 size, so I'll be able to do smaller little pieces on there. So that is everything that I have to show you today. I'm sorry there was not more because I've got so many double ups. I will get a handle on that at some point. You might have also noticed on some of my tubes I've got this lettering. That's to remind me that they're, in this case, O for opaque, W for warm. And I haven't cleaned out any of the shells yet. I just haven't had the energy to do that. But I have started to neaten up my oil paints and get them sorted. And I've put them in these drawers. And you can see all the opaques, warms are together, cools, transparents, etc. all together. And I'll talk more about that in upcoming vlogs. The last thing I'd like to remind you about is the Newstead Open Studios is happening again, March 7th through 10, so Friday to Monday, the Labor Day weekend. If you are around, please do call in and say hello. The Arts Open that extends through the rest of the Shire and the Castlemaine State Festival are both not on. The Fringe Festival is on a little bit later in the month of March, but Newstead is going it alone this year, so we would love, love, love to see you and come and support us. And we have all of these wonderful studios and work to come and see. And this is me here, Studio 8, the top there. And there's ceramics, printmaking, painting, sculpture. There's an amazing sculpture garden of Rogers that is an absolute must-see. The brochure has a very easy to use map to locate us all. That can be downloaded from the newsteadopenstudios.org. You can download a brochure and map from there. We would all absolutely love to see you. And if you're coming because you've heard about it here, please introduce yourself and say that you came along because you saw it on YouTube. It certainly feels good to be back in the studio. I hope you've really enjoyed today's vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.